Okay, so good evening and welcome to another One Plus Armor Battle Report. We are broadcasting live on YouTube. I am Chris and I was playing my Orks for this game versus my friend
Jason. What's going on, guys?
and he was playing Eldar. So this is a pretty interesting game. We're playing an ITC mission. We're playing the Hammer and Anvil. It's the new way. Well, it's not that new anymore, but it was where you'd roll 3d6 and you'd pick the top two for your Maelstrom, whichever ones you wanted to.
Yeah, it was the first time for us to play it this way.
Yeah.
Or for me, anyways.
So I'm going to start off with what's in my list. So I'm playing Orks, and I took the Big Mech Stompa. Within him he has I think it was 10 Ludas with 3 Big Mechs for the 3 repair rolls, and the Ludas could shoot 10 miles could shoot out of a Big Mech Stompa, which is kind of awesome. So I was like, I was debating between Ludas and like Burnas and stuff like that, and I just wanted something that could kill a few jet bikes. I also put a Big Mech with a custom force field in there to give my custom Big Mech Stompa a 5+ invulnerable save to a shooting. There's also 2 bonus mechs as well in there. Then I took 3 Pain Boys because I took double CAD. So 3 Pain Boys, 3 units of 30 boys, 2 of which are Shooter Boys, one's a Slugger Boy unit. The Slugger Boy unit has 3 missiles in it, and then the Shooter Boys have 3 big shooters in it. They all have a knob with a power claw, and I don't know if the power claw is necessary, but I just wanted to make sure I could go through anything if I had to. So I think it was a good call. So I'll hand over to you, Jason. What was in your list?
Yeah, so the list I was playing was Eldar. Somewhat competitive with it. Took a CAD, Farseer on a jet bike, then 6 units of Windrider jet bikes, all with scatter lasers, except for 1 unit. Only had 2 scatter lasers. Then heavy support, I got 2D batteries, both separate. Lord of War, I got the always include Wraith Knight. Double D cannons for him with a scatter laser. Then I took an allied... I took an allied detachment of Space Marines with a White Scars Librarian with the Hunter's Eye. As my compulsory troops, I took 3 Bikers. Just the Sergeant had some Melta-Bombs. Fast Attack took a drop pod for it with a unit of 3 Centurions. Devastators with Grav Cannons. Add the Librarian in there, and now I got negating all cover saves. Not the best against Orks, but still. I also have an Aspect Host Formation with 2 units of 5 Warp Spiders and a unit of 5... Swooping Hawks, and then I have a Void Shield Generator as well.
Yeah, you filthy man.
Yeah, I know. They are so amazing. So you can see the dice on top of the building there. I got first roll I did for my Psychic. I got Invisibility. Then I think I went with Guide on another one, and remember my last one?
No, because you only really used Guide and Invisibility.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So we're basically deploying the objectives. There is 6 objectives. One of them is behind my pretty crappy Void Shield Generator there, which is I also took a Void Shield Generator. One of the pregame rolls is I rolled a 6, so I had 6 shields on my Big Mech Stompa. He's a new addition to my collection. This is actually my first game ever with him, so I was pretty excited to get him out. And then there's one objective that's kind of back on the, if you look at the top right corner of the board there's an objective kind of on an angle. That's also one there. So, So my whole plan with this right now is I'm deploying. So I'm putting 30 boys in ruins with Feel No Pain near an objective to basically try to deny the Eldar from jumping on that the whole game. So that's the closest building in the bottom right there. You can see the back of my head a little bit. I'm putting on all my boys. I'm making sure my big shooters have, they're the most important part of the shooter boys. Just for the range, right? The Eldar are never going to be within 18 inches or 24 inches, so I'm never going to move up and shoot them. So the big shooters need to be in the middle of the unit, protected, as well as the Pain Boy and the Knob, nice and protected. And then I'll just take some pop shots. 3 hits, strength 5. Maybe I'll kill a bike a turn and force some checks. Who knows, right? And then on the top right there, I'm basically going to spread out a unit of boys in those ruins as well and just deny him that objective for as long as possible if I can. And so that's kind of my whole goal. And then I'm going to put a unit in the middle right after this behind the Big Mech Stompa to kind of protect him. If anything gets close, they can kind of maybe run interference. I was thinking about maybe conga lining them up and hitting the Wraith Knight, but it didn't end up working out that way. So cool. I did not I did not have any psychic powers this whole game because I obviously play Orks, and weird boys are probably the worst thing in the game, so I didn't take any. But yeah, it'll be it was interesting. So I really like the Orks under ITC comp. A lot of people really hate on them, but I think a lot of people fail to take them seriously, and I think under ITC with the Big Mech Stompa you can make them really good. So I didn't take any of the upgrades on him. He only has the belly cannon, which is one big strength 10 blast. He has the D close combat weapon, and the standard one shot hits on a 5 D weapon, as well as 3 big shootas. After this game, I think I'm going to run my Big Mech Stompa with the double strength 10 D cannons and just take away his combat arm and just sit him in the back. I think that's the better choice. I think I kind of screwed up with this because I don't like my loadout. I got to cut off his arm with the big chainsaw. So there you go, Jay. So you're starting to deploy your army.
Yeah, so I was really nervous. It's the first time I've ever played against a Big Mech Stompa. And knowing that these boys have a 4-up cover save in Ruins and they have Feel No Pain, it's like, man, now I got to get through 30 of these guys. It's going to take a long time. Those objectives, I'm not really going to worry too much about them. So I just wanted to make sure I keep my own safe here. So I got my D cannons hidden up, hiding behind the impassable terrain, just to make sure nothing can shoot them and I don't get tabled. And then in case you get within that 24 inches, I'm dropping D on you. Yeah, it's going to scatter the full distance, but I mean, I'm okay with that. Most of the other things I actually left in reserve as well. So I really don't have a whole lot on there.
You have 1 unit of bikes on as well. It's kind of hidden back there.
Yeah.
But you did put the obligatory 1 unit of bikes just in case you need to get a Maelstrom objective,
yeah.
right?
And I also put the Wraith Knight. You can barely see him. You just see the tip of his gun on the far left. But he's also hiding in Ruins there. And now with the new rule where he needs to be 25% obscured to get it, that's fine. These buildings are high enough. I can get that with him. Oh, I took him off. Well, I guess I decide back and forth what he's going to do. I also got to put that Void Shield generator, which I conveniently forgot at first.
Yeah, so let's talk about that one. You forgot to put in the Void Shield generator.
Yeah.
So we just kind of said, okay, you can put it on the board. But in a tournament game, that would be theoretically destroyed if you forget to deploy it, right?
Yeah, gone. Yeah, my own fault for that one. Mm-hmm.
So this is cool. So I'm actually advancing my Big Mech Stomp up. My theory is here is that see, I'm handing him his Void Shield.
Yeah.
But, so my theory here is that, and the reason I did that is I wanted to make sure I could maybe get rid of some of the shields turn 1. But, so all my boys are covering my back end objectives right now. And so I want the Big Mech Stompa to cover the 2 middle objectives. Because the new way that ITC missions are scored is that you have to score them at the beginning of your next turn. So I'm like, if he jumps anything on those objectives, my Big Mech Stompa can clear them. And he's still within 12, just the tip of him is within 12 of that Void Shield generator. So right now I'm just shooting.
I think Luda's right now taking out some shields.
Yeah. The Ludas are great at taking out the Void Shield because they, I hit on 6s if I moved, which I did. And I rolled a few 6s, then, it's only, 5s?
Yeah, it's not much difference, though, when they're BS2, hitting on 5s, hitting on 6s with them. They're a pretty cheap unit, strong shots.
Yeah, because if you put the Burners in the thing, it's like, I can only hit stuff within 8 inches. And it feels like they're just only there to repair them, whereas the Ludas, I feel like I could sit my Big Mech Stomp and just shoot all game and kind of maybe whittle down a few other jet bike units.
Yeah, so here I asked for some dice. You want me to use your dice. So I remember I used these in the first shot. I shoot the 3 bikes just to try to take off some of your shields. And I think I hit with... Yeah, I don't do really anything. So I'm like, screw this. I'm getting rid of these dice. I just felt that it was... you gave me rigged dice, man.
Are you superstitious? Yeah?
Sometimes. And then I was like, that's it. And there I went and I changed them out. And then the rest of the game went better anyways.
Well, yeah. We'll see if it went better. So my Grots came on. So that was his turn 1. It's really fast, right? His turn 1, he hides, he pops out, tries to get my shield, whatever. My Grots come in from reserve. They jump on another piece of Ruins to kind of stay hidden and just kind of chill back at a line of sight if I can. I'm just double checking. I don't know why I moved them. I think we didn't count them I think I measured it and I moved them a little bit and then I don't know. No, I did move them. I counted as moving them, which kind of sucks. I don't think I should have moved them, but oh well. You make mistakes. Right.
Yeah, I mean...
Because now I'm hitting on... I think I realized that right at this moment. I'm like, I hit on 6s now with my Ludas. Why did I move them? So that was a brain fart on my turn. But it's pretty good. So I just kind of take pot shots, get rid of his shields. I do believe all the shields are gone now. Try to get the Void Shield. But I can't shoot anything else, right? Orcs have no indirect fire. I'm not going to invest in Grot Artillery. I just don't think it's worth it. So I just said, well, I'll take my first 2 turns of doing very little and chill on the board. Now, one thing is you also forgot to bring in your drop pod.
Yeah, and then I realized that as I'm rolling reserves. And I'm not sure if it's at this point or in a minute or so. And I'm like, oh, man. I kind of felt guilty not putting it down. And then I was like, well, okay, let's just say I'm not going to shoot my Centurions this turn. So, I mean, there was a few mistakes.
Yeah, because I could have shot him with my Big Mech Stompa. Even though I think he missed with everything, but it would have been like... Yeah. No, that's what it is. I missed with everything, so we just said, okay, well, you can come on ongoing reserves because I wouldn't have hit you anyway. Yeah. I think that's what we ended up doing. But
And here I'm contemplating if I want to put it down. I'm like, you know what? Nah. It'll go through my mind momentarily. I'm like, you know what? I'll just put it over here. I mean, he's being nice enough that I'm playing it now. I forgot to put it down before. And I just pop out these Centurions right now.
It's funny because this game actually sparked a whole bunch of controversy in some of our chat groups because, like, I was like, well, what happens if a guy doesn't bring a drop pod in turn 1 and he has to? Does it just die? Does it go in ongoing reserves? And some people get offended by that and get, like, outraged. But it's like, you know, if it's a Collector's Assassin and he had to come in turn 1 in a drop pod and it screws over your... And then you could have shot him. You say, oh, well, I forgot to bring him in. He comes in turn 2 and he, like, let's say gets rid of your Invis and kills your Death Star. So, you know, this is a basement game, and of course we're like we're a fairly fluffy club, and I've never called anybody on too much, but just really think about that. If you like, what would you do if somebody forgot to put a drop pod on the board turn 1 and they had to? Would you say it was dead? Would you put it in ongoing reserves? And then run through the scenario in your head, like, what if it was a tournament game and it really mattered, and he'd actually table me because it came in turn 2 instead of turn 1, whereas turn 1 it wouldn't have mattered, like. You know, really think about that. But anyway, what are you doing here, Jay?
So here I'm basically everything comes in, I think, except for 2 units of bikes. So now I'm just putting down the Hawks, putting down the Spiders. I'm like, let's just go for gusto here. That is impassable terrain that we're looking at, and I'm like, it's like basically, I kind of move them around. I kind of have a 7 to 8 inch bubble in some of the spots here, and then I get kind of lucky. He only goes over an inch or 2. Yeah, toss him in now. I still got to roll for my run rolls and everything on these guys, and then the Hawks come down. I only have 5, so they're only dropping the small blast, and I decide I'm going to start picking on the one unit in the top right corner. And then after I shoot those guys, I finally realize, man, it's going to take a lot to get rid of these guys. Because, I mean, even hitting on 2s, wounded on 2s, and then the 4-up save, and then 5-up feel no pain, I was not killing much.
Yeah, it's pretty good, and I could go to ground with that Orc unit because they're not within 6 inches of the Stompa. So that's kind of a neat thing too with this army is if I go to ground, I can move the Stompa within like 6 inches of my boy unit and they get back up because they become fearless.
Wow. Yeah. There's definitely a lot of good synergy with it.
The only thing is that I feel like, so we have these 2 buildings and I'm actually going to take the roofs off them and just make them like line of sight blockers because we called them impassable. So that means that, and if you watch the last battle report where I put the Necrons, so he can basically jump any of his flying stuff on top of those buildings and just like pepper me and I can never touch them. Because I have nothing in my army that can ever go on top of those buildings.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's part of the game. But that was, yeah. So behind the top right building, what's there? 1 Warp Spider unit and 1 unit of Hawks?
So I got 5 Warp Spiders back there. I dropped the Hawks in the movement phase. They dropped down. I covered, I think, 4 boys or 5 boys. I think got like 1 wound on it, and then you made your save. Now I think I'm just
You're shooting my shield.
Yeah, trying to take off your shields because you have so many of them. So my bikes are strength 6. They can hit your shield, but they can't hurt your Stompa. So we were like, okay, can we shoot at something you can't actually hurt?
Yeah, you can.
So then it's like, all right, well, I'm going to shoot these guys, try to get that shield down, even though, how many hull points does it have?
It has 12 hull points, and it had the 6 shields and the 3 from the Void Shield Generator.
Yeah, so I had a whole lot of shields to get through, but it's all right. I had a lot of scatter bikes on there, shoot them, get rid of them. Saving up for my D shots coming in too. You're still out of range of my D batteries. You're just staying like an inch or 2 away.
No, I'm not going in the range of those things. That's crazy. Are you crazy? Like what? Think this is amateur hour? No.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So you're running up, and you're gonna pick on that boy unit with your spiders. So that's what he's rolling in the corner. He's trying to kill that boy unit.
Yeah, so I got a decent run roll. Really anything that's a 3 or higher, I won't re-roll. If it's a 1 or 2, I'll re-roll it because they have fleet. But yeah, they get a little closer. I try to back up the Hawks. At this point, I kind of realized, shoot, I probably shouldn't have got this close to these guys. But
yeah, you screwed up. I think you really screwed up because now he's relying on 2 jump rolls to get on top of that building. And if he fails one, I'm going to combo charge his Hawk. Well, his Hawks are getting charged for sure, or shot.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to combo charge with a spider unit if I can.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking this whole time right now is I'm like, man, if one of those spider units fails that jump, because some of them are pretty far, like you need like a 6 or something, or a 7, which is like reasonable to fail on 2 dice. Not that reasonable, but could happen.
I definitely underestimated how hard it was going to be to kill those guys, and I shouldn't have placed them exactly where I did. That was a mistake.
Yeah, so those I put I think it's 4 dice up there. That's 4 of my shields gone on my Stompa and 3 on my Void Shield. So his army's taking its toll. That's 7 shields gone this turn. That's a lot, man. You did 7 armor 12, like basically hull points this turn.
Yeah, and I don't think the grav sense were in range yet at this point, so they didn't even shoot.
So I have 3 left. That's right, I was counting down. That's just retarded. I don't know why I did that. But,
but then...
well, the grav sense, they make their money back next turn. So,
yeah.
One left, 1 shield left?
Yeah, so that was a scatter laser, and then I shot my 2 Ds, but they both hit. And usually I have the Wraith Knight invisible right now and guided. Invisible, I got to remember that you're shooting a big blast. It's kind of, I shouldn't put him so close to my other units here. Also another mistake I played. Again, first time I played them, I'm going to make mistakes, but it's good. At least I learned from them. No for next time.
Yeah, that's the you just got to play games to get better. So
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for him to finish his assault moves. Because I'm antsy. Like, I think you could tell from me moving on the side. I'm waiting for this roll here. And he can't get on top of the building.
Yeah, I rolled like oh my gosh, it was maybe like a 3 or 4. It really wasn't that much. So here I'm like, okay, maybe if I line them up in front of my other guys, I sacrifice these guys, and then maybe I'll get my other guys to live because I can jump them far enough. And then these guys got a good roll. I think I rolled an 8 or 9 for them.
Yeah, so they get out of the way. They're safe. But there's a Swooping Hawk unit and a Spider unit within charge range of like 28 boys or 26 boys, whatever's left, which is great. I was so excited. Like, I'm literally just like, oh, he screwed up, man. That's 2 units. And, one of the secondary objectives in this was like, kill an enemy unit. So I'm like, wow, if I kill 2 enemy units, that's 2 really easy objectives for me.
Yeah, and I mean, spiders being so hard to kill. If you shoot at them, they jump away. I mean, you got to take any chance you can to get rid of a unit of spiders because they're just such a thorn in your side.
Yeah, so I think I even call my WA to guarantee this. So I call a WA. I'm like, I'm going to make sure that I get these 2 units. I don't know what it was. I was like, because you know when you play Eldar, you're like, I'm not going to kill a lot of his stuff. I just got to play the objective game. So I'm like, I have to make sure that I can get this guy. So I'm just kind of, and there's not a lot else I can actually do with this army right now. I'm just like, oh well, I'm gonna get shot. I'm gonna chill here. And if I can get 2 Maelstrom points for the secondary, then I don't really need to do much, right? I can just keep chilling back. You can't come near my Stompa with anything.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm afraid of that guy. He's got D attacks in close combat. He has 12 hull points. Yeah, armor 13. He's a beast.
Yeah, he's good, and he repairs. He had I think mine had 7 or 8 repair rolls a turn. So I'm getting 2 or 3 hull points back a turn if I don't die in 1 turn, right? Which is pretty immense. But so it's funny because turn 3, I found that our first 3 turns nothing really happened, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just getting ready.
And that was maybe another thing I did. I put those guys up there wanting to keep moving a little bit, but I shouldn't have done that again. I think your Grots came on.
Well, they were already on. They're in that building back there.
Okay.
They came on last turn. This is my turn 3, I do believe, unless you went first.
No, I think I won the
roll. That was 5 minutes ago, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I think I won the roll, and I got you to go first.
Yeah, I think I went first, which is unfortunate. I really wanted to go second. Really wanted to go second in this game. Because I knew that he wasn't going to kill anything for round 1, so I'm safe. Which is pretty good. So now I'm basically... We don't have the template right now. I do have one for future games, and I'm kind of shooting... I think you got 1 or 2 Void Shields back, so I'm shooting my Ludus at the Void Shield to get rid of it. So that way I can shoot my template weapon and hit multiple units at the same time. Because as Jason mentioned earlier, his Wraith Knight's too close to 3 units behind the building.
Yeah, so now I'm just rolling some armor saves from what it's covering. And all those guys are touching the ruins in there.
So that big that huge Apocalyptic Blacks template or whatever it is, the big one, that covered a lot of stuff. I think I did 1 or 2 wounds, but could have been better, but it was still good. If I had a second one, that would have been even nicer. Yeah,
I think that's a good way to go with them.
Just all shooting, right? Yeah, because I'm not going to, if I run at you, you'll just kill them. So this is me. I just ran them up, called the wall. I'm like, screw it, I'm going to make sure I get it. I made sure that the Power Fist guy was in combat with the spiders. So I wanted as many guys as possible in with the spiders as I could. And then I wanted as few guys in with your hawks as I could. So I put as many guys at the spiders, the Power Claw, and I put 1 or 2 or 3 guys within fighting range of the hawks. So I was like, because if I go in there, kill the warp spiders, you're going to kill 2 or 3 boys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, he's leadership 6 or 7. He might stay in combat, and then I'm never getting shot, right?
Yeah.
And
no, it's definitely a way to do it. I mean, also, the spiders got hit and run, so you keep a couple of them alive. Now hit and run out of there.
Yeah, so you got to kill the spiders, but the hawks don't have hit and run, so...
No.
And I ended up getting really lucky here. I did kill all the hawks, because, Power Fist kills 3, Then the boys killed the rest, and then I think by the time your swooping hawks struck me, I only actually got one boy on them, so I don't think I killed any hawks, and it was pretty awesome for me. So I'm like, okay, I get one unit killed, and I'm tied in combat for his turn, because as you'll see in a few seconds, he makes his leadership check, which is not quite yet. Those are his saves and his spiders, I do believe, but we gave it away.
Yeah.
We're going a bit quick. We're getting a bit eager, but yeah, so he's going to make his leadership pretty soon. He's going to roll it. He's going to stick.
There's a lot of wounds.
Yeah. That's the spider's gone.
No.
This is me rolling.
I know you have so many attacks for those boys. Like that's another thing with Orks. You go in there, and they all have.
It almost drags the game out because you're like, I just have to roll dice for so long. Yeah, there's a lot of dead spiders. There you go. He's removing his spiders finally.
Gone. You got them all.
Now it's a leadership check. He sticks, and look at me pile in.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So good. So good. That made me like so happy. I was like, man, I feel like I played that right. I capitalized on your mistake, and I got a little bit lucky. Because if you failed that check and ran away, I'm going to lose that boy unit that's out in the open.
Yeah.
Mind you, they're on the edge of the ruins there, so maybe I wouldn't lose them, but you never know in this game.
Mm-hmm. No,
so it's pretty cool. So now it's your turn.
Jeez, what did I do now? Oh yeah, I gotta roll for these guys, see if they come in. I don't think either of them come in, actually.
Yeah, no, neither came in. But that's like, you don't need them. That's like, you don't need them yet.
No.
Sometimes it's good to have one or two bike units not come on the board, because then you can react to situations.
Yeah.
So
now I'm realizing, it's like, you know what, okay, these spiders being up here, this is perfect. Alright, what should I do with these guys?
Cheese out, man. Just cheese out. He can't touch me. Why even leave? Why leave the safety?
I know. Listen. I not gonna lie. I did feel a little dirty about it though.
Yeah, but we talked. So that's the thing. Some people might be right. We talked about this before the game, and we kind of agreed. Like, you know, we would like to play them as maybe like single story, but line of sight blocking. So you would just place models on top of the building, and then they wouldn't be able to be seen if they're within like the footprint. But for this game, we had talked about. We said, well, this is going to happen to us at major GTs. There's going to be terrain like this, and so we wanted to be used to playing with it.
Yeah. So here, one of my objectives, I have to hold the middle objective there. So I'm contemplating where to put some bikes in here, because it's like, okay, I need to weather a turn of his shooting to hold that objective, because now you got to hold them at the beginning of your next turn. So it's like, all right, I'm just contemplating where I want to push things out. I'm trying to do a push on take some more of the shields, take some hull points off the Big Mac Stompa.
I'm surprised you went for the objective, truthfully. I'm surprised. I thought maybe you would just like ignore it, allow me to maybe catch up on Maelstrom or get ahead, and just kind of chill back and do more damage. That's what I kind of was expecting from you.
Yeah, I think I'd roll to hold one of the other objectives, and then I rolled that middle one, and then kill a unit. And it's like, well, I'm probably not going to kill a unit, so this is the only chance I got.
Yeah.
Because I think you got ahead of me.
Right now I think I'm ahead of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Maelstrom, for sure, I'm actually ahead of you. You can see the dice in the top right corner there. I had 3, and I think you had 3. We're tied, I think we're tied actually at this point. And but it was like I'm threatening you because I'm going to score 2, I think, next turn. So yeah, I get it. I definitely get it. Like the Eldar, it's very important for them to win the Maelstrom mission because that's ultimately what their strength is. Because at the end of the game, man, if you go for turn 5 and you spread out on objectives, and it goes on to turn 6, the Orc army actually has the potential to take off a lot of bike units.
Yeah, so there I shot a last unit of bikes to take off all the shields. So now all the shields are gone. So now it's like, okay, hull point. So now my bikes can't hurt him at all. My bikes aren't in range of too much else. I mean, 36-inch range is good, but I know, and I would have guided and gotten invisibility off on the Wraith Knight again. With the 2Ds, that's...
Yeah, you did. You guided him every turn. It was so annoying.
Yeah. But I mean...
It was good. That's what you do with the Wraith Knight. You invisible him, and you guide him, and then he kills things. See, I don't need guide with my Wraith Knight. I just roll to hit every time I shoot him.
Oh, yeah?
Which is like, no, I don't. I never do. There's so many times you miss with both, and you just, like, cry inside. Yeah,
so here's the few bikes I have that are in range of some boys. You know what? You got to whittle them down bit by bit, get them down.
Yeah. And those boys are fearless because they're within 6 of the Stompa, so... But he's shooting at I think he's shooting my grots, and I went to ground. I'm like, screw you, I'm going to ground. Or maybe it was the boys in front of the grots. Can't remember.
Yeah, I think...
We'll see when I remove the boys.
Yeah,
there goes the boys.
That was the spiders. Up top, because they're within range.
Yeah, which sucks. Okay. Now they just chill. Now they're like, oh, now we can't be seen.
And then I just run back a bit. and just stay up there. Oh, I felt so dirty playing them up there. So I turbo boost up here. I'm like, okay, I got 2 objective security units on that objective. Okay, what's the best way to do this? I'm trying to figure it out, contemplate it. I'm like, anyways, that's what I finally decided with. Was it the right call? I don't know.
It was okay.
I mean, maybe I just should have had them like bubble it on my side to have.
Maybe I would have turbo boosted your Eldar jet bike unit on the other middle objective, but I guess my boys would have got you then. So I think you played that pretty well. You're in cover. You're spread out. Your bikes are basically blocking me from charging the jet bikes.
Yeah, those White Scar bikes, I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't think they're gonna do a whole lot in this game. They were my tax to take because I basically wanted to grab Centurions.
Yeah, so now I'm shooting my Ludas, I do believe, at it should be those 3 bikes right there. Oh no, that was combat. That was your turn's combat. Sorry, we're jumping ahead.
Yeah.
So my boys, I checked range to his bikes to see if it was worthwhile me trying to massacre move towards them, because if I could, and then maybe I could reach them with my shooters, but I could not. So I actually massacre moved back. And then I'm going to try to, basically now I'm going to move them back onto my cover.
Yeah, so you just rolled your objectives up there, and now you're like, okay.
So that's 1 to kill a unit, and then it was get the objective in the middle, I do believe, times 2. So I think I picked kill a unit and get the objective in the middle.
Yeah, so again, you're measuring my D cannons because you're like, oh man, it's like, I don't want to get in range of the D.
And I put the die down there. See the 3 die? I put that there. That's as far as my dude can move, and that's where his D cannon is, so I kind of put the die there. So I'm like, bang, if I don't actually make this charge, he can't shoot me with that. We kind of talked about it.
Yeah.
And then my boys are going back on their objective. That's what they do.
Yeah, sitting in the cover. Again, so resilient. So many boys.
So what I'm doing here is I'm actually ringing my objective so that his spiders could never jump on it. It's a little bit premature. Maybe they should have been in the cover going to ground. But I'm like, no, you're not getting any of my objectives.
Oh, I think you had to hold that objective. That's why.
Oh, and I didn't want you to contest it. But I'm OPSEC back there. Yeah. But you have bikes too that can turbo boost. So I'm actually pretty worried about these bikes in the bottom left corner here turbo boosting on that objective. That's what it is, and the spider's going to come down and try to clear it, but we'll see that next turn.
So there, yeah, I had.
So I just shut off your bike unit. Yeah,
I had 2 bikes. I had 2 3-up saves to make, fail on both.
Yeah,
use both my bikes.
But like, Luda should kill 2 bikes if you roll okay. They should kill 2.
You only had 2 wounds on 2 bikes, and
maybe they should. Right. They shouldn't kill them, but I have like big shooters, so I was very happy when I killed that bike unit because bang, that's a Maelstrom point. And then I'm like, if I clear this other bike unit in close combat that I shot a big shoot at, I can basically win the Maelstrom race. This is like the crucial turn. I go ahead and Maelstrom this turn, if this works out for me.
So here you're figuring out your big Stompa.
Charge in, touch the corner. Epic.
Oh, okay, so this guy here, my sergeant, is a bit of a hero. So I roll to hit with my Melt-A-Bomb. 2d6, pen. And I get a...
5, which is +2.
Yeah.
So, and then he does D3 wounds, and he rolls the 5. So he does 4 hull points to my Stompy.
Yeah, it was
which
crazy.
Was heartbreaking, and then I killed him.
And then they all just died. But I mean, he went out with a blaze to do 4 hull points on him. And you rolled, like, I think a 1-inch consolidate here, which is not enough.
No, it gets me out of 1 D cannon, but not the other. Yeah, that's the sad part. I was like, oh!
Yeah, so it's just touching. I remember...
And I know it looks like he's further away than he was before. That's why we pre-measured it before I moved it. Because right now, technically, I think he's out of range of both, like on the board. But we had talked about that because he wouldn't balance on the train piece. So just keep that in mind. Before, like when your opponent rolls a massacre move, pre-measure it, right? If you think it's going to be finicky. Because this guy, like, he just couldn't balance, right? So now it's like, okay, well, he's an inch further back, so we'll bump him an extra inch next turn, but you can shoot me with 1. And we kind of just decided that.
So here I am. I'm pre-measuring these bikes on here because I'm like, okay, I'm going to be able to turbo boost on that objective to stop you from holding it if I can kill enough of the orcs in front of it. So I'm basically lining it up because now I got to, okay, like this is where it matters because I can't have you get any more ahead of me. I got to hold you back on Maelstrom because that's half the battle right there. So I'm just seeing where my bikes are, seeing who can turbo boost up and what I got to kill. But you have 2 units back there right now, and I kind of got mixed up with which unit you had, right, in front of your void shield on the right hand side.
One of them has pistols and weapons, and one has sluggers and choppas. The other one has big shooters.
I was just thinking, I was like, okay, they're all 1 unit, but then I'm able to discern, figure out which one's which here in a few minutes.
Oh, and those tappings were Jason's, one of his roommates, coming home wearing high heels, just so you guys know.
Yeah, so the other 2 bike units come on. So we're like, all right. And then
they're coming on this flank too, which I was like, oh, I can't answer that. And then he goes for it. I really was surprised when you went for it. I was like so shocked. I'm like, why is he going for it? That doesn't make any sense because I was like, I have the D close combat weapon. I can like then jump him with a boys unit maybe.
Yeah, so my rationale here was
you went for it, which is crazy. I was like, good for you, man.
He's close enough up. I got all my grab sense in range here of your Big Mac Stompa. I got 2 Ds coming into him. I'm going to get invis off, so you're going to hit me on 5s in close combat. I'm like, this is my best shot. I got you down 4 hull points already.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think if I was full hull points, because you were debating, like there was like a few minutes of debating. I think if I was full hull points, you wouldn't have went for it.
No,
am I right on that? Like, cause like, but you already did 4. That's huge, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so now I'm down to 8, and I know I'm getting a D battery in there. I'm getting 2 D shots, and I'm getting 15 grab shots.
Oh, and you got 7 hull points of these grab shots. I remember that number. That distinctly like.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, so I'm just getting.
This is a psychic phase, but I'm like, he's gonna shoot me with this grab. He's gonna get 7. He's gonna get 7. Watch this. Watch this.
Yeah, it's a little ridiculous. The Hunter's Eye is great because if not, you would have had a 4-up cover or 5-up cover anyways.
Well, I get a 5-up invol, so it doesn't matter.
But every little bit helps, and it's just crazy. Yeah, grav amp.
See, look, 7 5-up saves from those stupid dudes, and I look at that. I have 7 wounds taken. Yeah. Or 8. No, that's 9 wounds taken, dude. I took 9 wounds. Remember that? Yeah, because you shoot him. You shoot with your D cannons, and you almost kill me. Yeah. And you came in and did like the last hull point to me in combat.
So I think my Wraith Knight did 2 or 3 hull points, and then my D battery scattered off.
Yeah. It would have been 2 because I would have been dead if you did more than 2.
Okay. Yeah. And
it was 2 because I remember that I was on 1 when you went into combat, which is we're kind of spoiling it, but there's not much else that happens. He's just gonna kind of try to blow me off that objective. He's gonna try to turbo boost on it. His spiders come down. They're shooting my boys, and you actually played that really well. He jumped his spiders back to like the side of my boys that was like softer to clear it off the objective. That was actually a really good play on your part. That was really, I was like, wow, that's really clever.
So right now, because he has some rings in there of boys, so now I'm trying to figure out which ones I got to pluck away to make sure I stay an inch away from you and when I can turbo boost in.
But I had 2 units there ringing around the objective and 1 unit in front of the other one. You can't really see it, but I did have like a ring of 10 orc boys from this unit in cover over there.
So right there, I'm like, bam, okay.
You're on
I don't want to forget. I'm going to jump my bikes in there. I'm sacrificing them, but now I'm stopping you from getting that objective.
Oh, so heartbreaking.
Which is huge.
Yeah. And my Stompa's out of position to help me clean up in the backfield because I got greedy.
Yeah. So so there again, Chris was nice about it. I forgot to run my spiders. So I'm like, hey man, I moved one of the unit. Do you mind if I run these guys? It was good. He did. So I ran him back a bit. I charge in. I probably get a hull point.
Well, you just blow me up. You're going to see my Stompa come off. Spoiler, he's dead. He's going to come off.
Yeah.
Yes, I think you charged my Stompa, and then you're like, "Oh, I want to turbo boost these on the objective," and I let you do it because I'm such a nice guy.
I know.
But this is what we were talking about. Is like we're actually going to start calling each other on a lot more stuff just to get practice games in and serious. Now we've both got really busy personal lives since we made that pact because we haven't had any games, but we want to have more games. So
yeah, and we do want to make them competitive to get into that mindset because you really have to. Because you know what, playing with a beer in the basement with buddies is different than playing at a tournament scene when you're going to win with dirty lists. I mean, both these lists are, I would say, pretty competitive.
I definitely think that my orc list is competitive. It just has a couple holes in it. It needs a bit more shooting on the Stompa, and I need some kind of unit to get the spiders off. Now, I also, since this report, have thought about dropping the Pain Boys, just put 30 more boys in.
Okay, now by the way, so you saw you took away your hull points there. I ran in, did 1 on the Hammer Wrath because strength 10, and then I was able to do, which brought you up to 10, and then I was able to do 2 more with my 5 attacks.
The reason I left him on there is we're looking up a rule, but we didn't want to stop the gameplay, so he's rolling his stuff, and I'm actually, if you notice my iPad in the right got picked up, we're just looking up a rule for what happens when my guy exploded, so we're not slowing the game down, we're still moving on, but we're kind of leaving it as is, because it won't really affect anything, so...
yeah, so I finished all the other moves
stuff, and then we're just looking up the rule for what, like, I wanted to make sure that the Stompa, how it exploded, we wanted to do it right, because I was hoping to get the D explosion to kill those bikes in that Wraith Knight, because, I need justice. You killed my Stompa.
Yeah.
It's my first game ever when I murdered him. Like, I was so don't get me wrong, guys, I was really like, oh, you killed my Stompy? Like...
Yeah, so here we're trying to find the middle of the Stompa, so I'll actually pick him up and measure the bottom of him to see how big he is, and he's huge.
Yeah.
Like he's bigger than a large blast. And so then we figure out actually, so the inside ring of like the I think the 5-inch total doesn't come out from underneath him, and that's the D size. So I think
so if I don't, because I didn't scatter onto you, I just kind of moved like an inch back or something. So the template, it just did like a strength something hit, which is, you'll see me roll a wound him and not really do much. But it was cool. It was a good learning experience for both of us because we're not used to playing with a Stompa. So it was like really good to play with it because, guys, it's more competitive than you might think. It's like, don't get me wrong, he just murdered my Stompa and ruined my hopes of winning this game. But like, if I would have played the Stompa a little bit better, taken a few more units, like I really wanted to use Storm Boys just to clear off some warp spiders, but you know, it's pretty good. It's like,
it's a very competitive model, especially when you get him for the for the 400 or 500 points he is instead of the 800 or 900.
Yeah.
But I mean, I got lucky with my Grav, and which is good because what else are those Grav cents going to do against Orks?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, like they did enough hull points to kind of help you out, and then so everybody pretty much dies in it except for. Now this part I'm not clear on, and upon rereading the rules, I don't think the special character Buzzgob or whatever his name is, I don't think he actually gets to come out because there's no ruined Stompa anymore. So that Forge World rule needs to be updated, I think. But so anyway, I think it's my big mech, or maybe it's Buzzgob and another dude, and we're just like, okay, we'll see how this goes. We'll play it out. They're gonna jump up and try to go after his bike unit.
Yeah. Also, a mistake I made is I didn't realize guys were going to come out of that thing after I destroyed it. I was just so excited.
Well, there was like 16 dudes in it, and only 2 came out. So
yeah. That was a pretty high roll. But I mean, I should have strung those bikes out, only having one up there and having him just the 3 inches away from that objective. But
yeah, and so I'm going to capitalize on this, right? So one thing that really, it didn't piss me off, but I was like, I shouldn't say that, but I was like, oh, I want to roll 2, kill 2 units, kill 2 units, kill 2 units, kill 2 units. I didn't get it, but. I'm like, I think I have to kill 1 unit, so I'm like, I'm gonna get this bike unit. They're mine. They're Hess's grass. I'm gonna get them.
Yeah.
And these guys back in the top right there, they're like, okay, we're gonna spread out on this terrain. I had some really slow rolls for my this was the turn I think of like a slow army. My big unit moves like 6 inches, and everybody else moves like 2. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't able to really spread out like I wanted to. But and that Wraith Knight's coming right at me. It's like turn 4 too, or it might even be my turn 5 or 4. I lost track. Because I'm retarded, but it's okay. I can't even read the number there.
I think we're at turn 4 here, but
yeah, turn 3 was the clutch turn. It was like I took the risk, and then the risk paid out for you, and you killed my Stompy.
Yeah, and there's your charge, 10 inches. Those bikes, I'm like, they're gone. Yeah, the other bikes, I know they're gone. But that's another thing with bikes is that they're not too expensive, and you can actually throw them away.
Yeah.
You know what? Their objective secured. That's fine. I'm going to stop you from grabbing yours, and it's just like.
Well, you basically caught up or got the lead. I think you got the lead here. And then you're like, oh, now I can basically just win out by just getting 2 every turn. Who cares? So it's basically like I went from like a potential of winning the secondary to like guaranteed losing it or something like that. And it was like, oh. And then the primary, of course, is like just getting objectives, I do believe. So it was like, well, I am doomed. I was like, I'm doomed. I'm going to try to play it out the best I can. But of course, like, that's the problem when you take that big mech Stompa, though, I guess, is your whole army relies on it. A little bit more Orks in my backfield might have helped out a lot. And Hammer and Anvil deployment really did suck for me, too. I know I shouldn't say that because we wanted to play this because that's a mission you need a lot of experience on, but my Orks are, like, far away from you. That's the thing that killed me. I was like, man, I can't spread out.
Yeah. No, you were...
But it was cool. It was a fun... I actually, right up until this point in the game, I thought I was going to win.
So here, I rolled my objectives, figure out which ones I got to get to, try to stop you from getting yours, and now I'm just, okay.
Yeah, you're going to mop them up, yeah.
So you have a small unit by your Void Shield right there.
But I did get some Void Shields back, so you're going to have to waste some shots on it.
Yeah. So here, just in case, I split up my Librarian. I kept him back there on that back objective because he's not going to do anything now. Start moving up those Grav Centurions to be like, okay, they can hold the middle because jet bikes are so mobile, I can fire them up on the other objectives. Now I'm thinking of the end game, thinking how it's going to go.
You can tell I'm nervous if you watch my finger in the top right. You can tell that I'm like, I can still pull this out, but you can tell I'm nervous.
Yeah.
And it's because I'm tapping my finger.
Yeah. So again, my D batteries now at the back are doing nothing, but I'm holding that objective. I got the other one at the top left. Middle one. This was I was trying to figure out what to do with the Wraith Knight. I'm like, okay, do I just charge them in there, save those bikes, kill these few guys off, or do I go start mopping up some bikes and just smash them in the face? And I was like, you know what? I'm going to play the safe game. I've already made a few mistakes here. I'm going to just save my bikes in the middle, figure it out that way, and then now I have 3 objectives. Okay, great. And then the middle objective, and then go from there. My spiders, I think we're talking about, I'm not sure what we're going at here right now.
We're debating some kind of rule on... Oh, no. This is what we're doing. We're pre-measuring whether or not you can get to that objective with a turbo boost.
Oh, the one in the top right.
Yeah.
I think that's one that you needed
That's
to hold
one that
again.
I need to hold, and I tried to ring my guys out, but I don't think I accomplished it. And it was really tight. Like, I really tried to ring them out, and I don't think I had enough movement because I got a really crappy run move. So that's what he is. He's pointing there. He's like, yeah, I can get there. We're using, like... So we always like to use... we always like to discuss things. Use proxy dice. Use proxy figures. Just to be like, okay, can you reach it? Because, like, there's no point in him moving his model and being like, well, I can't make it.
Yeah.
So.
Now, I remember for this one, I think, did you move your boys afterwards? And then, because you could have moved them, and then after you realized I could jump in there? I don't remember if it was that time or not, but
no. I
was like, it's all good. Go ahead, man. Like.
Well, we were getting tired. It was already, like getting late at night, so, and, like, moving 90 boys, even though I didn't really move them. It's taxing on you. But yeah, I don't know what we did there. We did do a little bit of shuffle. Like I forgot to massacre move or something silly. And you're just like sitting in the train laughing because all it can get you is like grots.
Yeah.
So it went from like a really tactical game to like you mopping up pretty quickly. But right up until this point, we were both like maneuvering around, and like if that Stompa, let's say that he didn't die or whatever. And let's say I kill the Wraith Knight, which is a fluke, whatever. Maybe it won't happen. But, like, if I'm in your army, that thing's scary in your army. Moves 12, can hit a unit a turn, shoot a lot of templates. Oh, yeah.
And I mean, and you had to you start moving some boys out of cover. They're still in the Void Shield, and I never got rid of that Void Shield generator. I had to get rid of the shields every time you made them, but I left them there. You saw I moved my bikes up, sacrificed them on the top right, because now this really...
well, you're guaranteeing the secondary.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Like, once you guarantee... Like, I think after this turn, it was so guaranteed that there was, even with the getting 3 of a kind, there's no way to get the secondary. So those bikes in the top right, yeah, boom. He wins secondary. It's done. Now we're playing for primary. So, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, okay, can I get this primary? Like, I'm hoping that he comes around and I can get it. But the problem is that I have top a turn right now. So it's not really good for me if we go on extra long turns. It's not good for me if it ends early. So,
So there, the Wraith Knight mopped up in the middle there.
Yeah, he's just kind of protected. Like, you know, you could have probably went balls deep aggressive with him because you had it in the bag. But I think it's better that you didn't. Just like play it safe now, and then you won't do that when you're stressed out turn 5 at a tournament. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
guarantee the win. Like right now, you've guaranteed yourself the win if the game ends. Keep that. Do that. Like, guarantee the win. Don't risk it.
No, because I mean, I played too aggressive with my other spiders and hawks and threw them away almost, and that's why I only have 1 unit of spiders there. Realistically, I should have 2 units of spiders up there just harassing you.
Oh yeah.
And the hawks, like just I mean, I don't know, deep strike them in. Like,
they have 24 inch
in
range. They don't need to be that close. Your hawks could have been way back in the crater there by your Wraith Knight and still shot me.
Yeah, you're right.
Because they could have shot and then ran away.
And the other thing I forgot with them is that they have haywire grenades. So I could have dropped them in. I could have thrown a haywire grenade at your Big Mac Stompa. Another way to help.
As long as he doesn't have his shields. Because haywire doesn't affect void shields.
So I mean, there was another thing I thought of later, and I was like, ooh, should I have done that?
Well, I would have probably started them on the... So swooping hawks, if you have a building where you can hide them, you always start them on the board. Because then they go into ongoing reserves and they guarantee to come in turn 2. But if you put them behind that building, let's say turn 1... They can move 18 inches and then charge if my Stompa comes up here.
Charge 2d6 with fleet.
Yeah. So if you would have left those hawks behind that building there, out of line of sight, or maybe put your void shield generator right up on the line with the hawks behind it, I actually can't go out of my deployment zone because you could charge me and put 5 haywire grenades on them.
You're right. There I lost a spider to dangerous terrain.
About time. Jeez.
Yeah. I was pretty good at those other ones.
But now he's going to go for it. He's like, well, I've guaranteed secondary. I've pretty much guaranteed primary. So he's going to go for it and go for the mop up, get the bonus points, get the line breaker, you name it. Go for balls deep. Get the perfect win.
So my thought there with the Wraith Knight is I'm going to tie up that unit of big boys. That's fine. Yeah, you have a power claw in there. But now I know you can't hold those 2 middle objectives. And now I got those. So now I got 4 objectives in the bag.
Yeah.
and then the spiders at the top are just kind of whittling you down in front of the void shield.
And then he starts shooting me, and he's gonna charge in, and I'm sad to say, but I'm actually gonna concede in about 1 minute right now. So we're just kind of playing it out a little bit to humor it, and then it kind of sunk in. Well, we already knew it was coming. We're just playing it out for tactical conversation, but basically I'm gonna concede in about 2 minutes. So we're gonna start, even though you're gonna see us rolling a little bit longer. There's only about 2 minutes left in the game, so we're gonna give our final thoughts on the game while the video's running. So what's your final thoughts on your list and the game as a whole?
I realized that I don't have. I mean, I always want more D, and that might sound terrible, but in order to take out high armor vehicles, other things like that. I mean, you got Battle Company, you got a lot of rhinos. Now the Strength 6 can hurt it with scatter lasers, but I kind of think I needed a little bit more of that. Grav Centurions were great. I played too aggressive with my Aspect Host, lost 2 units quick, and should have been a little more conservative with them.
So one of my comments on your list, this sounds bad, but we do this all the time with each other. It's actually my Eldar army.
Yeah.
But I think you should have got rid of the bikes in your allied. If you're going to take the Grav Centurions in a pod, I almost think you should have taken a second pod just so that the Grav Cents don't have to come down turn 1. What do you think about that?
No, super good point on that one. And yeah, I wasn't really thinking. I was just trying to make it as cheap as possible because I had another unit of 5-man attack with a Melta, Combi Melta, but then I'm running up to 115 or 125 points, where the bike unit is 63, I believe.
Yeah, but I just think that like the tactical flexibility, and like you could have put your whole army off the board and dropped in an OPSEC pod turn 1.
Yeah. And
then null deploy, right? I think that's a good. I don't know. What you did was really good too, and super effective as well. But
yeah, and I mean, some armies I could just have the 3 Grav Cents on the board and just in ruins. But I mean,
that's true. That's
yeah,
true.
But I mean, valid point. Like having 2 pods in there.
I like pods as 2 because I like to be able to have like if you take a Colexus Assassin in a pod. I keep saying that, but I'm obsessed with them. You want 2 pods so you can choose to come in turn 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But cool. So my army, what did you think? Like, so if I was to tell you, like, we both agree on the shooting, more shooty Stompa, but like, what do you think of like getting rid of the Pain Boys and using that 150 points for like 50, not even like 10 Storm Boys or like another couple Grot units or like what do you think of that?
Well, the boys super resilient. Like I'm never going to get you off those objectives. The only way I got you off of near the end was just after tons of shooting because you didn't have them in cover. But you put boys in cover, 4 up ruin with a 5 up. Man, they are super resilient. Doesn't matter. I'm shooting strength 6 at you. Yeah. And then the other thing is if you took the double shot Big Mac Stompa in there, you can shoot 1 at a unit of bikes. Boom, they're pretty much gone. And I'm going to have to jink. Takes away their effectiveness. And you keep that distance. What's the range on it?
The Big Mac Stompa?
Yeah.
60 inches on a lot of guns.
60, huge. Like the biggest range on mine, I have 36.
Yeah.
On anything.
So you think keep the Pain Boys? Is that what you're saying?
I like them. It definitely.
I like them too. 50 point. It's a 50 point upgrade to basically add a third of the models to the unit.
Yeah. The other thing is, I mean, you might get in a situation where someone issues you a challenge, and then maybe you want to take it with the Pain Boy to keep your Power Claw alive to kill it.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if that's going to come up too much with it, but it gives you an extra character in there just to have.
Yeah, sounds good. I might try going down to a single CAD. Maybe take like that way I don't need to take the garrote, but we'll see. So thanks for watching, guys. This was a long voiceover, but we took our time and we really tried to play it out right. So maybe you couldn't tell that from the video, but there was some long pauses where we really thought about moves and discussed them to see what the optimal move was, and it was a good training game. So thanks, Jason, for doing this with me.
Yeah, Chris, thanks for having me, buddy, and thanks to all the Canhammer guys.
No problem.
1 Plus Armor.
Yeah, so check out oneplusarmor.com for more information. And with that, have a good one.